Let's pick things up there for tonight's Dateline Defense. Joining me, retired Army Colonel Douglas Macgregor. He's a decorated combat veteran, author, PhD, and Executive Vice President of the Burke-Macgregor Group. Doug, let's start with the debate over how to best contain ISIS. President Obama does not want to commit more than a few dozen special forces operatives. Some argue it's time for boots on the ground, but then whose boots would they be? So what does ISIS want and why?
ISIS would like to see large numbers of American boots on the ground.
Yep.
Anything that we do directly against them transforms them into a celebrity inside the Sunni Muslim world. And that's very important to their recruiting, to their sustainment. The more obvious we are as an opponent, the easier it is for them to get the money and the support that they need to survive.
Goes back to the days of Osama bin Laden, get the infidels out of the Middle East.
Yes. Very much so.
Recruiters for the terror group have met a lot of success in Russia and Central Asia. According to the Daily Beast, Russia is now the third biggest supplier of foreign fighters. Tell us more, Doug.
Well, you remember when we first started reporting on Russia's decision to enter Syria,
right,
that I pointed out, in contrast to most people, that this was a serious mistake on the part of Mr. Putin, that Russia had walked into essentially a buzzsaw, and that's exactly what's happened. Russia has on its borders roughly 50 million Sunni Muslim Turks from Kazakhstan all the way to the Caucasus. Within that population, there is almost an inexhaustible number of Sunni Islamist Turks who want to fight the Russians. In fact, right now, ISIS says they can't accept any more recruits. They can't effectively equip them, and so they are encouraging, particularly the Turks that are on Russia's border and inside Russia, to start attacking Russians in Russia.
Just like the whole lone wolf thing. How amazing and ironic that ISIS is saying, nope, we've got too many. Yeah. Incredible. All right, we're also following a politically sensitive airstrike in Syria. A senior U.S. military official tells the AP that Russia bombed a Syrian army camp on Sunday night. Syria blamed the U.S. Russia has yet to step in. Who's telling the truth here?
It's very difficult to know. My suspicion is that we did not, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. No one has an incentive in either Ankara or in Damascus or in Moscow to tell the truth.
Right.
This is something people don't seem to understand. Everyone wants to drag us into this fight for their purposes. Mm-hmm. The Turks want us to defend them. The Russians would like to have us in it. And so would the Sunni Muslim Arabs in Saudi Arabia. Anything that they can do, they will do to bring us in. So at this point, we don't know, but I would be suspicious of almost anything anyone said.
Meanwhile, Turkey sent troops, tanks, and artillery into northern Iraq. Baghdad ordered them to leave. What's going on here, Doug? It's like the Wild West.
The Shiite Islamic dictatorship in Baghdad is widely hated by the Turks. Ankara has been furious with us for years because we effectively put Iran in charge in Baghdad. We did it when we occupied Iraq, and we did it through the surge. So right now, the Turks effectively control much of northern Iraq indirectly through their surrogates. There are Kurds who are very pro-Turkish, and those are the ones the Turks have gone in to help. However, there are also Kurds that are pro-Iranian, and there are Kurds who, frankly, are extremely pro-Moscow, reaching all the way back to the Cold War. The point is that Baghdad really can't control anything that happens in northern Iraq, and Baghdad knows that Ankara is its enemy.
Before you go, I'd like to talk about Afghanistan. John Sopko, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction, released a new report. He wants to know why the U.S. spent $150 million on lavish accommodations. What did he find, Doug?
Well, Sopko has found out an awful lot of things that are extremely disturbing, but I think the thing that viewers need to understand is that when Mr. Bush intervened, one of the things that he told Rumsfeld to tell the generals, and Rumsfeld told the generals, we can't provide you with any more troops than what we've already got, but you can have limitless funds. You can have limitless contractors. And then some of your viewers will remember Mr. Petraeus, when he was still on active duty, who said cash was his greatest ally in terms of buying up opponents. This flood of cash has been so corrupting in its influence and so misused that we have installations, not just those that are in this report about Afghanistan, but also in Iraq as well. So cutting off the money supply, halting these programs and these projects entirely is the only answer at this point.
Colonel Douglas Macgregor, Executive Vice President of the Burke-Macgregor Group. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.